All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the day has finally come as Mike Krzyzewski has finally decided to retire as the men's head basketball coach for the Blue Devils. Now, since 1980, Coach K has paced the sidelines at Cameron Indoor Stadium for the Dukies, and in the process, he has put this program on the map. You think about some of the things that Duke has accomplished under Coach K, which includes 5 national championships to go along with 12 Final Four appearances and 15 ACC tournament titles, just to name a few. Coach K has 1,097 career wins, more than any coach in Division One history. And you think about the talent that Coach K has brought to Durham. I mean, it's been a who's who of talent that go has gone on to play in the NBA. And just to rattle off some of the names, you think about Elton Brand, Christian Laettner, Grant Hill, Jason Williams, Bobby Hurley, Shane Battier, JJ Redick, and Jason Tatum. And that's just naming a few of the guys who have played for Coach K and have gone on to the next level. Then you think about the coaches who got their starts under Coach K. Current Utah Jazz head coach Quinn Snyder, once upon a time, was an assistant for Mike Krzyzewski. Johnny Dawkins, who has coached several college programs. You think about Jeff Capel; he's in the same boat as Johnny Dawkins, and then Mike Bray, the current head basketball coach of Notre Dame. And you think about what Coach K has done on the international level as well. This is a guy who is respected and revered by so many NBA players. We've seen him lead Team USA to multiple gold medals in the Olympics. And, this guy just commands respect, but at the same time, everybody that is around him, for the most part, loves him. You think about what Coach K has meant to the Duke North Carolina rivalry. And I think when you talk about rivalries in sports, the one in the hardwood between the Tar Heels and the Blue Devils is basically second to none in all of sports. And I mean, Coach K was leading the Dukies for so many years. And of course, those battles with Dean Smith, and then, of course, most recently, Roy Williams. And that just lets you know how things are changing on the college basketball landscape, because now two of the giants in the college basketball coaching ranks will not be there in a few years. We just saw Roy Williams step down recently from North Carolina, and now Coach K is going to join him in retirement in a matter of a year. One of the things that has helped Mike Krzyzewski's longevity has been his ability to adjust and adapt, because the game has changed so much since 1980 when Coach K took over at Duke until now. Of course, when Coach K took over, it was all about that system. It was all about the 4-year player. And then the 4-year player quickly became the 3-year player. Then the 3-year player became the 2-year player. Now it's all about the one and dones. And, Coach K, for his, what it's worth, he's had his fair share of one and dones at Duke in the past decade. You think about Jason Tatum, you think about Jabari Parker, Austin Rivers. We can go on and on and on. Zion Williamson and so many others who have been one and dones as McDonald's All-Americans under Coach K. But you know what? He knew how to adjust and adapt. He always kept Duke, for the most part, in the top 10 in regards to their program. And, this is going to be interesting, because we all knew that this day was going to come. And, you think about, Coach K and what he's meant to the game of basketball for so many years. And then, of course, commentators such as Dick Vitale, because he was always commentating and doing so many Duke games, especially the Duke Carolina games. You can hear him now. It's the Dukies, baby. But, you understand, the dynamic of what, Mike Krzyzewski meant to the game. And, like I said in the previous podcast I did tonight, this is why, and this is my opinion, but I'm very strongly on this opinion. This is why you saw Brad Stevens get promoted to being the president of basketball operations for the Boston Celtics. Why? Because if there was probably one job out there that Brad Stevens would have left the Boston Celtics for, it probably would have been the Duke job, because, we all saw like the success that Brad Stevens had more than a decade ago collegiately at Butler, and everybody figured, if he was going to leave Butler, it was going to be for something big. He did that when he became the head coach of the Boston Celtics, and you really don't leave too many jobs other than the Boston Celtics when he's had some success there. But you know what? The Duke job looked like it was about to come vacant. I guess there were rumblings, and the Celtics said, you know what? We're not going to lose this guy, and that's why they definitely made sure to keep Brad Stevens happy there. But for me, the thing is this, and it's going to be John Shire. And I said this before. Good luck to the person who had to one day replace Coach K. And I've been saying this for the past couple of years. And now that falls on John Shire. And of course, Shire is a part of the Duke family. But, you're looking at a guy who he has to replace. And it's not just about the national championships. It's about the standard of excellence that Coach K set forward. I mean, say what you want, but he basically became the modern day John Wooden. And of course, it was very difficult, and it is very difficult for any head coach to replicate the consistent championships that John Wooden had at UCLA. But you just look at the track record of what Coach K has been able to do over the last 30 years coaching. I mean, from 1998 to 1992, every year ended with Duke in the Final Four. I mean, that's just unheard of. Even I know the era was different, late 80s and early 90s, but still, he had the slight fall off in the mid 90s. Of course, he missed most of the 94-95 season with the back surgery, came back in 96. And, by 97, Duke was back in the tournament. And then by 99, Duke was back on the national scene. And, they have not looked back ever since. And, you think about it and you think about what Coach K has brought to the table. Of course, he played at West Point, coached at West Point before coming to Duke. And he brought that same intensity with him to Duke, but also he brought it to his players. But, you looked over the years of the Duke players with the level of intensity that they played with, especially on the defensive end. Their players always took leadership and accountability on the court. And that is a testament to the coaching of Mike Krzyzewski. This is going to be a very, very difficult act to follow. I hope that the powers that be at Duke are patient with John Shire in the same way that they were once upon a time patient with Coach K. And of course, there's different people calling the shots down there. But I mean, let's not forget, in Mike Krzyzewski's first 3 years at Duke, he did not make the NCAA tournament. And in fact, it took him until his sixth year before he got out of the second round of the tournament. So, it takes time to build something. But make no mistake about it. You look at the legacy that Mike Krzyzewski has at Duke, second to none, not only in the college basketball world, but the basketball world, period. College basketball is in a much better place because of Coach K. I think basketball as a whole is in a much better place since Coach K came along. There will never, I repeat, never be another Mike Krzyzewski coming down the pipes. So you really have to savor what he has done, savor what he has accomplished. And again, we all knew that this day would come eventually, but it's a very tough act to follow. I don't want to say it like this, but I really feel sorry for John Shire because he's really in a no-win situation. Sometimes, you have tough acts to follow, like who's like the person who has to replace Tom Brady at quarterback for the Patriots, and of course that was Cam Newton. He was the first guy, or the guy who had to replace Derek Jeter at shortstop for the Yankees, Didi Gregorius, and he didn't do a bad job. He just wasn't Derek Jeter, and that's no offense to Didi Gregorius. Someday there's going to be somebody else coaching the New England Patriots, not named Bill Belichick. Good luck to that person. Things like that. So with that said, it's going to be a difficult act to follow. You have to respect the greatness of Mike Krzyzewski, and hopefully for Duke, the sake of Duke and the Blue Devils program, that John Shire is able to keep that level of success going. But make no mistake about it, like I said before, a huge, huge lasting impact on a game of basketball from Mike Krzyzewski. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 pounds of sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There is also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.